Hi drillers, in this video we're going to be talking about the wrist breaker. The wrist breaker is one of those tricks that requires a lot of flexibility in your wrist. That's why it's called a wrist breaker. However, I have no doubt that most everyone here will be able to perform it. The way I've been doing it might be a little bit more advanced if you're kicking from this side position, but it is something you'll want to work into. So keep that in mind as we go through the training steps for a wrist breaker. Is that you eventually want to get all of your momentum from a standstill. However, for the purposes of training, we're going to introduce a little bit of extra leverage. And that leverage comes in the form of a side toss position. Now, importantly, you don't want to grip with your left hand. You can, but honestly, you want this right hand to be somewhere on this upper part of the rifle. I have mine a little bit closer down towards the up band, which is this sling swivel clip here. Sorry. Now, as the rifle swings forward, you're going to be able to get the momentum required to swing the rifle around for this tuck. This tuck happens to the outside of your arm. And let's break that down real quick. You move the rifle forward, and the rifle does a 180-degree outward turn. Check where this palm is. When the rifle is this way, my palm is facing my body. When it's facing this way, my palm is facing away from me. So get used to this mechanic here. Swing the rifle back and forth so that the sling always faces the ground. You don't want to do this here, right? You don't want the sling to face the ground and then the sky. The sling faces the ground, the sling faces the ground. From here, use your left hand. You can manually use your left hand for training purposes to bring the rifle up and to the outside of your arm. Now the sling is facing towards the sky. You still have a grip. The rifle is cusping around this wrist. It really is cutting from the palm to the forearm around the wrist. Now you're going to want to make this kind of motion, this like yes, right? And as you do that, the more momentum you have on release, the more the rifle is going to kick around into that wrist breaker position. So, if you don't have the momentum, you can swing the rifle back and forth to get that kick. This whole motion is a lot like the motion for a half beat to a right shoulder. So get used to that kind of concept, except instead of bringing your left hand in, your left hand's going to be pinned at your side. Your right hand is going to swing it around, and that catch is going to come in with the sling side facing towards your backside, and your hand is going to catch up in this upper part of the rifle. From here, I'd like doing a 180 turn to pivot forward and finding the position back at my foot. But I encourage you to explore creative options with the wrist breaker. Thank you so much for watching and happy drilling.